Hello. So today I'm going to be attempting something new. I'm going to attempt to replace the brake discs on my car back here, and I'm also going to attempt to uh, exchange replace the brake calipers and the or one brake caliper and the brake pads on this car. And I've never done it before, but I got some things that I think is essential. Some essential things. I got wire brush for brushing off the dirt, making a good, real nice and clean service job, okay? I got brake cleaner for using the wire brushes with, of course. I got some paper, like they're a little bit rigid, like something to keep underneath so stuff don't get dirty. I can just throw it away. It's like a protective thing, that so the table don't get dirty with oil and grease and grime. I also have a pan to spray the brake cleaner on. Let me get that real quick. All right. Here's the pan I will be using to clean the brake parts in, the old brake parts. And of course I need the replacement pieces, right? By the way, this is an Audi A4 from 2000, from the year 2000. Brake pads from Bosch. Bosch brake pads. Get quality, guys. Get quality. Never get the cheap stuff, alright? Never get the cheap stuff. Bosch isn't the cheapest stuff you can get. Wanna look how they look? They give you brake pads like these, looking clean, looking good, and also one with the sensor. I don't know if that's gonna be needed for my car, but we'll see. It should be, got a little manual or something right here, I don't know. And we got some screws too. That's good, that's good. We also have the brake pads. Or not the brake pads, but the brake discs from Bosch. Also not the cheap stuff, not the cheap stuff at all, but I have a principle: never get the cheapest stuff. I'm gonna show you how to look like this. Nice. Did not get any screws or anything with the brake pads. They just came like that. And yes, the brake caliper. I actually got a brake caliper from a company called Budwig. It's a Danish company that make apparently brake calipers. Looks like this. Nice and new and clean. I never replaced this before, so it's gonna be a bit of a hassle, I think, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I also brought some other tools, like I already had this screwdriver and some fittings to be able to use those on nuts and bolts. And also I have other tools in this garage that I will be using, like sockets, wrenches and stuff. So yeah, wish me good luck. I'm gonna get another angle on here and remove the tire. Alright, I hope this setup's gonna be alright to check out. And another thing I didn't say was I got some gloves, some reuse, like one-time gloves, not reusable but disposable gloves, so that you don't get oil and brake cleaner and everything on your hands. Also, I have set up with a light here so I can see what I'm doing. Of course, some place to sit and yeah, general stuff that you need for this type of work. Let's see if we can get a better angle on here. Alright, let's start. So, there's quite a lot of water dripping here because it's winter and stuff, but we'll just have to do. Secure the car later, so I'm gonna put some pieces of wood here so that the car don't fall down. But now I got the car partially jacked up. I'm going to remove the tires now. I'm going to at least try to. So this is not the side of the car that I'm going to do the caliper replacement on. I'm going to do that on the other side because that's the really bad part. Like that side's really bad right now. That side is making a lot of noise, like the left side, the left tire is making a lot of noise, and it's a big problem. But I'm going to replace the brake pads and the brake disc on this side first, because hopefully it's going to be easier on this side than the other side. And then when I get to the problem side, I already have an idea of what to do, hopefully. There we go. I wonder if I have something that would fit on here. Okay, so I found some sort of solution here. So I'm going to be using two adapters. I'm going to use this thing that goes into the screwdriver, like that. That's an adapter to go on this adapter in this side, like so. And now I can use that adapter to slot onto this socket, like that. Now it's a bit wonky, but that should work. Get this job moving quicker. Much better. Now we can slide the wheel out carefully. because it's just barely touching the ground right now. That's good because I can just slide it out carefully. Like that. Work a charm. And if you don't think that this is going to work, or this is not going to be strong enough, then I don't know what to say, because I already did it. Actually, I put these blocks of wood underneath this side of the car, and I released the hydraulic jack and went over to the other side of the car. So it does work. It's strong enough. So, you know, evidence is more important than whatever argument that there is. I'm going to release the jack a little bit so that it pins the block of wood here. Now we can start working. So the next part of this job is to release or remove the brake caliper. We need to remove the brake caliper from the disc here. And from what I saw on the video, we're going to have to release some screws back here. I'm gonna film so you know what I'm seeing. Here is what I'm seeing. So we're going to have to remove this cable that sits inside of it sits seated in some sort of, whatchamacallit, it's inside of a bracket here. So I'm going to have to remove that. We're going to have to open this screw, probably, maybe this screw that or this bolt here, and yes, I think this is a simple thing to do, but yeah, I'm going to do it and then I will show you. Alright, so firstly, I actually took it upon myself to remove this cable first. Now you can see it sits in a bracket here. Now it's going to be a little bit easier to get to this one here, so I'll get to work with that. Okay, so new development here. I noticed that this thing was like, this thing was not really want to pop. It didn't want to pop out like this. This just popped straight up. This part just popped straight up. This part didn't want to pop straight up. So I noticed that this had like some kind of screwing handle on it. See if I can put the light on. It has some kind of a screw handle on it. Like it's meant to be screwed, this thing. So I thought to myself, hey, maybe it's the screw to release. So I tried it. It was really hard, but I'm noticing a little bit of turning So yeah, that's actually how you do it. You're supposed to take this and turn it to the right if you want to work with me. Okay, I'm gonna do it, and it's really hard for me to show you at the same time, but I'm gonna try do my best work here to show you guys, because this is hard. It's really hard. It's really tricky, and I think it should be documented how to do this. So basically, and I also noticed that this cable right here is not connected to anything, so I don't know what this is, but I think we'll come to terms with it. So I basically got in with both hands. I got in with both hands and did that, and now it comes up. So you have to just twist it to the right and pull it up, and you can see that this is some kind of connector that's not connected to anything. It's a mystery to me right now because I don't know what's going on here, but I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Okay, so I started the car up and turned the wheel so that we could actually get a better angle here on everything. And I think that what we have to do is release this now, because this is released, and I have a bit of trouble here because I wanted to change the brake line, change the brake caliper, right? Change something here, but the problem is that this line is so hard that I do not believe we can actually take this off without brake fluid coming everywhere. So I have to do something about that, but yeah. On to the next step. Okay, so I found the right sockets to use for that bolt back there. So we're gonna use the 17 millimeter to release the entire brake caliper, I think. 2 bolts back there. We're going to have to use an extension because we're not going to reach otherwise, and ratchet spanner like so. Okay, it's on very tight. We'll see how we can solve this issue. Okay, so what I'm gonna try to do, my strategy here is to remove this guard piece here, remove a clip here, and remove this clip here. But you have to be careful because it's breaking the plastics here, so yeah, just carefully, just like that, we got it off. Sorry I missed that, guys, but basically it's just on there like so. And be careful because I already see that somebody has cracked the plastic right here. See if we can focus on that. Yeah, they cracked it right there, so yes, careful. Okay, so I'm going to try and clean it up a little bit here. You probably have a better way to do this, and by all means do it the better way, but I'm gonna use just water and try to catch as much as I can with a bucket. This is going to make it much nicer later when I get to put the guard back on. Look at all that dirty water. Yeah, that works. Because there's dirt trapped back here, and I see there's also rust here, right here. So that's not very nice. So get some. Maybe I should remove this whole guard actually. So there was a screw. There was a screw right here. A screw right there that I took out. Now there's also a screw up here. Somewhere here. There's a screw here. I'm going to remove that. This is good. I got the plastic to come off here. So you see here, there's a ton of muck and dirt here. That is not good. That's what's causing this corrosion to go on here. So I'm going to remove that. This is actually like, it's actually mud. Wow. That is insane. It's like, I can't even explain. It's like a sand pit here. It's like magic sand. It's just like magic sand here. Rinse it off with water. Now I don't have any better technique than this. I don't think you saw much there, but it's working a charm. Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Now it looks like I have again. It's still a bunch of sand. I don't know what happened. What's happening there? There's a bit more back here. Like so. Okay, I'm going to call that good. I'm going to call that good. Let's continue with the brakes. I went ahead and put this heater on. This is a heater here. It's gonna blow some hot air on. Hopefully dry this up a little bit. I can already see the drying up here. So yeah, just gonna dry the area. I'm also gonna show you that it's become very wet here. This towel, that was the like covers towel thing that I bought. It's become so wet. I wish I had something to remove this water with, like some sort of squeegee or something. But, what can you do? Okay, it's somewhat dry now. So let's put the cover back on. Good, so what I was supposed to do actually is, let's move over here. Okay. So we need to remove this screw here, this screw there. Or that bolt and that bolt. So then we need the 13. The 13 is what we need. Let's start with that before we do anything else. We don't need the extendo. Now it's still extremely tight. Or not extremely tight. It's just regularly tight. Ow! That hurt. Okay, I was going the wrong way. Okay. And down here. Got this bolt out. And that bolt out. Let's see if this falls down or what's gonna happen. Let's get a hammer. Because I don't know how this is supposed to just How is this supposed to come loose? I wonder if the brake pads is messing me up here. Because the brake is constantly on, so I don't know. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So look at this. This whole thing is loose. And there we go. Rust falling, all kinds. Okay, so I need to release this from the... Oof, this is gonna be hard. And remember guys, I am completely new to this. See what happens if we whack it here. Light is falling. What do we do? I think we're gonna have to... It was a good idea to start on this side because the other side is even worse. The other side is actually on hard. The brakes are on hard on the other side. I think we're gonna have to come in with a crowbar or something. I don't know. It's moving. It's moving. I see it moving. I see it moving. Hit it right there. You got to just hit it right. Just hit it right. It's working! It's coming out, guys. It's coming out. Look at that. So before, put the light on. Before, it sat right here. Let me try to zoom you in on this action, because I need space. And guys, if you want to tell me this is not the way to do it, you know what? Why don't you do it? Well, because you're not here. You are not here. And that's fine. You can't be everywhere. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It is loose. It is loose. Right here. Now, this brake caliper is looking like complete garbage, I tell you. Complete garbage. But the good news is that looks like my new one. Just really shitty. So I'm going to have to, what am I supposed to do here? Maybe if I just, I need to set it like in some place. Like put it here maybe. I don't want to destroy the brake line. See what we can do. Okay, there we go. So I just put it on top of that bucket for the time being. So now there's no stress on the brake line. And we can continue with removing. So actually the brake calipers, I mean the brake pads isn't looking too bad actually. They're not looking too bad, but it could be another story on the other side. I mean there's quite a bit left actually on this, but there's no sensor. I noticed that there's no sensor on these two, on none of these, but there should be. That's supposed to connect to here. So that's why we had this loose line here. So let's see what the other side is gonna be next. But first we're gonna replace this brake rotor or brake, what is a brake disc? This brake disc, we're gonna replace it. So as I said before, we have to get to this screw here and that screw here to be able to remove this, because it sits in between here. So it's gonna be some work because I think it's on pretty darn tight. We'll see. We got the extender on again. See what we can do. Oh, I felt it. I felt it go a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna have to get something. Okay, what I'm gonna try to do is to get this piece of pipe on. See what we can do. Can we fit this pipe on? It's hard. I think we have to remove the rubber. Okay, so I removed the extendo and now I have a lot more clearance here. I was stupid because I still had the extendo on. So let's try it now. Now it's going. Now it's going. Good. Next one. Make sure it sits snug. Like so. That's loose now. Super, super nice. That's one. Show you guys. So now we got one of those two bolts off here. So we took these off first to get the moving parts off, obviously. Then we took that one off. That was hard to get to. Then now we're gonna start on that one right there. Ooh, got it off. Got it off. And I think, I don't know if you can see that, but it is. It has this kind of edge around that should not be like that. See that edge? Should not be like that. It should be straight, flat surface. So it's worn down. Same thing on the other side. It has a little edge there. Should be. Whew, that was some work. That was some work. That. Okay, let's get the new one and start. I mean, we need to clean it first. Here's the new one for comparison. You can see that it's straight. There's no edge on there. Another thing we're gonna have to learn here is how to remove this brake caliper, because we need to be able to do that for the other side. Also, this piston needs to go in again, because now it's out. It's come out from its seating here, or whatever we would call this. It's out. So we need this caliper to go, we need it to go back inside for the new brake parts. So yeah, that's gonna be not so easy, I am suspecting. Let's see if I can clamp this line off. No way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that's gonna work. Because what I think is that there's high pressure in this hose, and if it is, it's going to really make a outright mess right here. I don't know. Okay, so I had to wait. Vänta. I had to take a little break and get something to eat. So I figured out why this didn't want to work. It was because I had to release the pressure in the system, and you do that by opening the lid on the hydraulic fluid reservoir. So let's do that now and see if we're going to be able to cap or squeeze that cable. So here we have the brake fluid here. Let's try to open this up. Okay, so that's open now. So let's see if we can now squeeze this brake line here. Okay, it's not much of a difference here, but in theory that should work. Let me get back to you guys. Okay, so we gave up the idea with trying to get this caliper off. Instead, we're just gonna try to press this piston back in to the brake caliper, and we did that by using this block with a bolt through it that's going to push on the piston here. The piston doesn't have an inside, but it pushes with this outer ring, and it's really not easy to get back in. But I put one of the old brake pads against the ring, and then put this block in here. So we're just slowly, with the cap open, getting it back in there. There you go. Now it's sitting in, but in the future we're going to have to replace this part 100%. So it's looking good right now. I'm gonna compare it with the other So this is the new brake caliper, and you can see now that it should be in to the maximum like that. So that's how it is right now on that one too. You can see here on the brake caliper how hard that actually had to press into here. It left a dent in the brake caliper. It really had to push really hard on this piston here. So yeah, that's a lot of force needed. Okay, now that we have got the brake caliper into a nice position, correct position, we can have a little look at trying to clean the parts a little bit here, because we're gonna do a nice job, not a quick and dirty job. It's not perfect, but it's better. It's much better. Okay, we got a new set of gloves, and we actually have to do a little bit of work here too. So get some brake cleaner on here. Spray that on here. I put a bucket underneath. Something like that. Spray it off. Get this surface good. Brush your teeth, kids. Brush your teeth. Now we're gonna try and get this new disc on with the brake caliper. But before we do that, we're gonna put some copper paste on here, on the back side here. I'm just getting this copper paste on. Yeah, you know you need the copper paste. And that's exactly what it's called too. It's called copper paste. My copper paste comes in a tube like that. Now we have to get the brake caliper on, brake disc on. Like this. And the brake caliper as well comes on like this. These bolts out. Like this. Let me move you guys over here. So that you can see, and me too actually, because the light from the camera is helping. Now I need to get these screws in, these bolts in. Something like that. All right. As well. All right. It's not done yet. Okay, now it's in. Ooh. And of course, brake disc got dirty. From that, it got dirt on it. Okay, so here we can compare new brake to old brake, and you can see that there's actually significantly more material on the new one. So yeah. So we notice another issue. As you can see here, these bolts are supposed to move in and out. But the bolt down here doesn't move in and out. It is firmly stuck there. So now we're trying to loosen it up by moving it, getting some lubrication on it and everything. Okay, so I got it loose. I gave it a couple of whacks with a hammer and we removed it completely, pulling it outwards, removing the rubber boot. Put some Vaseline on it and now it's working somewhat. It is definitely not perfect, but it's working. Maybe we can get some more air in it actually. There you can see how it looks. I'm gonna remove some of it. Let's see what that will do for us. Okay, got the rubber boot on. Around. Man, oh man. How about now? Yeah, that's gonna have to do. Like, I'm not the master mechanic here, but that's better than it was. Now the next issue here is that we have to use this connector for the new brake pad, and I know now what they have done is they actually tied this side off. So they've tied the wires up here, so to fool the computer into thinking that the brake pad is still alive. So I'm gonna have to get this connector out, and it's sitting very tight, but you have to get in here, in between here. So not in between here, that's part of this connector side, so you have to get in between here. And I got a kind of a broad tool here, and I got the fork like that, and I twist it side to side like this. Here we go. There we go. So that's the dummy fake hack connector, which we need to use, or we need this connection here. This should actually clean up a little bit. I don't know what to use though. Okay, another issue came up here. Actually, that's the new cable that should be connected up here to the connector here, but this cable actually looks like it's supposed to go underneath here, or should it be over Should we leave it like that and just connect it like this? Or should I put the cable behind? Because we can put it behind and come up here. Connect it like that. I think that would be the most professional way to do it. To get the cable going under. Because now it looks like it's just out of place. See what I'll do. I noticed something else here, that actually this part here should be Bosch quality, right? But this actually is a little bit open there. So I'm gonna put some silicone on there to seal it up nicely. Okay, so I decided to just let the cable hang like that, because yeah, let's just let it be like that. Let's get the brake caliper back on. That's gonna go on like that. These things have to line up like this. Okay, I should have gotten the bolts ready. Hopefully it stays on like that. Here we go. Bolts go in. Like that, and down here. Like that. Alright, so I just got the right attachment on the whizzer here. We're gonna have to hold this nut in place here while we screw it on from the other side, because it's not gonna do it otherwise. Wrong direction. No, that was right direction. There we go. That's in. Now the same thing further down, right there. Hold it in with the wrench right there and get the whizzer on. Just like that. Now it's in. But we have to also get this cable in position. This cable here and this cable here. So we just pull it up, cable up. Do it like your old Game Boy. Then just plug it in like this. I understand why it was so hard before, because it was on the wrong way. You remember before when we took this off? This was actually the other way, like that. But it was supposed to be like that. Okay. That's how it's supposed to go. Doing it correctly. And this cable goes here. You just push that in as good as it can go in. Not easy, not easy. Never easy. There we go. Now actually everything is on and we have to go over to the other side. But we're gonna put the wheel back on and tighten up the nuts a bit. Okay, now I'm gonna start the car and turn the wheel straight so we can put our tire back on here. Okay. And let's take care of these spots on here too. I got some spots going on. Wow, they're really deep in here, but yeah, what you gonna do? I'm not a professional mechanic. Okay, let's get the wheel back on in a nice fashion. Get the wizard. Okay, so I ran out of memory on the phone, but I got the wheel back on with the new brake discs, of course. But the issue here is I forgot to put this plastic cover on, but I'm gonna do that later. This plastic cover here. Now we're gonna go to the really bad side, and you can see that the tire is full of brake dust. The brake is seized almost completely, and yeah, I'm not going to film everything, but I'm going to show you the worst parts at least, so hang in there. So I just checked this side out here, underneath here, and there was actually nowhere near the amount of dirt under there that it was on the other side. So yeah, there was a problem on the other side. You can also see that the corrosion is a bit better here actually. So yeah, there was an unusually large amount of dirt on the other side of that. I'm getting into the brakes now. Okay, we're at the crucial part where we have put some clamps on this hose here, so that hopefully there's not gonna be any leaks from the brake lines. Now we put the wrench on the bolt because this is a hard line, so we can't do much about that. Then we're going to remove this bracket as well that this hard line is connected to, or yeah, so let's go. Okay, so we got into another issue here. We had to remove this bracket screw here that was here, because this hard line needs to come out with the bracket and everything, but the bolt that was in there was broken, and I don't know what has happened, only God knows. But yes, we got the bracket off now, so we carefully needs to take this bracket off with this hard line. Now we get the pad. Now we get the brake caliper off. The brake fluid is dripping, but we're just gonna work fast. Here you can see that these brake pads are completely garbage, or one of them is okay. All right, so I couldn't film it for you guys, but the brake line is in the new brake caliper now. This is perfect. It's looking very nice indeed. So now we can start with the brake disc after we tighten these nuts up. Alright, so the brake caliper is, new brake caliper is in and to the side, and I just got the bracket off here for the brake caliper and the brake pads, and they did the same thing here. They tied up the ends of the brake disc, the brake I don't know what's it called now. So many words with brake, but they tied that sensor off and old brake disc out. Finally, there's a bunch of oil here, but that's actually my fault. I put the oil on here because I wanted to remove the, I basically put oil on this disc because it was chafing. You can actually see that there's hot spots on this disc. You can see the hot spots on this disc. So alright, I have the new brake disc in, and yes, it's on the way to becoming done here. Look at that nice looking brake caliper with that nice brake disc. Anyways, I need to now fasten these bolts up here to have this bracket in. Then I can put the caliper on the bracket with the new brake pads, and we are almost done. Alright, so everything's in place. The brake disc is in place, the caliper is in place, the bracket is in place, sensor is in place, everything is in place. Now we just need to bleed the brakes and get all the air out of this old caliper.